So it all started with FTMO banning US traders. As the next 2 months were going to show, FTMO did this because they knew some very important information before the competition. A little less than a month later, True Forex Funds had its MetaQuotes licenses temporarily revoked for what they said was a nonsense reason. As a result, traders couldn't trade on their TFF accounts, and the website only showed the following statement from Richard, their CEO. He assured traders that True Forex Funds will be back up and running soon, and apologised for the disruption. He also sent a message in their Discord, affirming that their team of 80 was working hard to resume activity as soon as possible, and there was no intention at all to permanently shut down. Tony on Twitter tweeted about how after focusing on MyForex Funds and True Forex Funds, both firms were affected, saying that Funded Engineer was his next focus, which in a few days would be an even more unlucky tweet. The day after, skilled funded traders launched the Skill Protector, a drawdown limiter tool that traders can use to automatically close trades after a certain amount is lost in a day, which is helpful to avoid accidentally breaching the daily drawdown rule. Mattel tweeted that MyFundedFX had over 200k customers, showing the increasing popularity of the prop firm model, but also the huge potential for growth it still holds. 4 days after the MetaQuotes license removal, True Forex Funds said that they had made a deal with a broker to use their trading infrastructure to resume services. But a day after, True Forex Funds wasn't the only firm having major issues. Funded Engineer was cut off from their dashboard provider FTMO, with the latter spreading accusations of why such a drastic measure was carried out. Trader Tristan addressed the problem, explaining that Funded Engineer was planning to work with their own technology at the end of the contract with FTMO in a few months. But the sudden cut-off meant that Funded Engineer was not quite ready for the transition, but they expected to be ready in a week's time. Also, they were making sure payouts were sent to traders even while the dashboard was down. A day later, Trader T said Funded Engineer was scheduled to be ready by Wednesday the 14th. Also, there were lots of rumours and discussion about Forex prop firm brokers getting shut down by MetaQuotes. To give context with hindsight, later on, Purple Trading, Think Markets, 8cap and Blueberry would all have to move away from providing prop firms with trading on MetaQuotes MT4 or MT5, but some would continue with different trading platforms. Because of the instability about prop brokers with MetaQuotes, MyFundedFX rapidly rolled out DXTrade as an alternative trading platform. Their CEO, Mattel, used this as an opportunity to throw shots at own tech firms, which had capitalised on the Funded Engineer situation to say they were in a much better situation by not relying on third-party tech providers. The rumours of the previous day were correct, and TFT announced that they were saying goodbye to Purple Trading on MetaTrader, with current users on the broker being transferred to other platforms. The GOAT Funded Trader CEO Edward announced that his firm had no issues with MetaQuotes, only to announce on the same day that GFT traders on Purple Trading would have to be migrated. Trader T said that Funded Engineer was still on track to commence full services by the next week, and that compensation for the issues would be provided. He said they would not give a statement on the allegations as it had potential to be a legal case. Also, he referenced the Purple Trading suspension and said that Funded Engineer had obtained a Forex and MetaQuotes license, allowing them to offer MT5 to everyone apart from US citizens. He also mentioned that MetaTrader services for US citizens will soon be discontinued across the whole industry. The day after, he explained that for compensation, challenge accounts and drawdown will be reset to the initial balance. Issues for US traders continued, as funding pips stopped offering services to US traders due to regulatory and operational guidelines. Maven said that new traders with US IP addresses would not be accepted, and that current US traders must use a VPN when trading with MT4 and MT5. They also announced that their web trader platform will be launching soon, with CTrader and DXTrade planned as well. Their advice to use VPN was met with scrutiny, with some saying it was a bad legal decision. True Forex Funds said that their initial plan to use a broker for a new MetaTrader server would not work, as all brokers supporting prop firms will be at risk of the MetaTrader license suspension. Blue Guardian announced they wouldn't be using Purple Trading anymore, instead transitioning to their own broker. Funded Engineer announced that the requirement for compensation would be at least one trade taken in February, for the challenge accounts in drawdown reset to initial balance as previously mentioned, and all funded accounts meeting the one trade requirement would receive an extra 1% drawdown to their limit. Along the disruption, improvements were still being made, with Swift Funding reducing their payout time for sprint plans from 14 down to 5 days. But the restrictions weren't over, with Funded Next restricting new US traders' purchases, although existing clients could continue to trade normally. Goat Funded Trader finished their migration from Purple Trading to Think Markets. Funded Engineer announced that the withdrawal of Purple Trading meant a delay in migration, and all accounts would be issued on Blueberry Markets. So True Forex Funds and Funded Engineer were still down, and another firm was about to join them. Funding Pips Trading had been temporarily disabled. Their CEO announced that MetaQuotes had decided to abruptly halt services without any prior notice due to active US accounts. So their broker Blackbull Markets were forced to let Funding Pips go, or risk losing their license. Khaled apologised on Twitter, saying that payouts would still be going out. PropSafe posted a source that prop firms are no longer allowed via the MetaQuotes grey label license terms, and that it is unlikely MetaQuotes will accept props in the future. This signified the start of a mass migration from MT4 and MT5 to alternative trading platforms. Funding Pips sent out a statement that accounts were safe, and the team was working to get them back online. As expected, more news of MetaTrader brokers withdrawing from the industry came, with Funded Trading Plus announcing that 8cap would be exiting from the industry by February the 29th. The Funding Pips CEO stated that closed trades at the time of shutdown in profit would be counted, and those in loss would be reimbursed, but in reality with hindsight, due to technical issues, trades in loss were never reimbursed. On a positive, despite trading being suspended, Funding Pips still sent out over 800k of payouts through Rise. Another day, another US trader restriction, with the Fivers being the firm to announce the news. Alternative trading platforms started coming, with the Funded Trader launching with CTrader. And finally, the Funded Engineer migration process started. Crypto Fund Trader also restricted new US traders. Issues weren't only present with newer firms. FTMO also had issues where their servers being temporarily unavailable on the mobile MT4 and MT5 apps, but this was quickly resolved. Fortunately, the True Forex Funds relaunch started up, as the first phase of emails for the new Funded Engineer dashboard went out. Swift Funding banned US traders, offering refunds to those affected. Blue Guardian, MyFlash Funding, Aqua Funded, Alpha Capital and Bespoke also restricted US traders in a huge wave. MyFundedFX continued allowing US traders, but with only DX Trade as a purchase option. As Funding Pips was still working on getting back up and running, Khaled announced that Funding Pips crypto and futures sister companies would be coming soon. MyFundedFX released new lifetime payout certificates that displayed the total amount spent on challenges as well. A few traders shared these new certificates, showcasing the huge profits that some prop firm traders earn. And Lark Funding followed the trend of no longer accepting new purchases from US traders. Omar, a founder of Skilled Funded Traders, announced they were working on improving the very unpopular 5-pip stop loss rule that had been recently introduced. And only a week after going down, Funding Pips was back up, after migrating accounts to MatchTrader. It wasn't their only firm back that day. The True Forex Funds website returned, with the CTrader trading platform available. Alpha Capital also introduced CTrader too. Richard, the True Forex Funds CEO, explains that 80% of the accounts were back on the client area. He also gave a statement about them being investigated by the National Bank of Hungary as part of an initial inquiry from the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, the same regulatory body that is currently battling with MyForex Funds in court. Richard proudly announced that the investigation found no issues with True Forex Funds' operations, and that the MNB refrained from making any recommendations to the firm. He said that they planned on sharing excerpts of this investigation and its favourable outcome. This is huge positive news for True Forex Funds and the prop industry as a whole, showing it is possible for firms to work in a sustainable way that regulators accept. The positive news continued, with Funded Engineer rolling out accounts, aiming to have them all sent to everyone by next week. And Smart Prop Trader restricted US clients, but with the plan to allow them back by the next week. Mattel announced that Think Markets would also not be available on MT4 or MT5 for any firm by February the 29th, and that a Think Markets web platform was coming as an alternative, but it would not be available for 3 weeks. The funded trader followed with a similar announcement regarding Think Markets, with Think Markets MetaTrader accounts being migrated to DXTrade. Also, they explained that all new US purchases must be for the DXTrade platform. True Forex Funds announced that their client area was available for all traders, with $500,000 of payout requests being sent out. Skilled funded traders added C-Trader, and Funded Trading Plus announced that after planning to move from 8cap to Think Markets, they now had to move to DXTrade because of the Think Markets move. Mattel, owner of both MyFundedFX and Swift Funding, said to save time they were integrating Swift into the MyFundedFX license of DXTrade. Funded Engineer announced that they could not onboard US traders with Blueberry Markets, offering US traders final payouts and refunds. Funded Engineer also announced a new pricing structure, with lower prices. However, a lot of these prices are similar to the old prices with old discounts applied. But if new Funded Engineer discounts come, these prices will have a big impact. TFT started migrating accounts to DXTrade, using their own broker Voyage Markets. Lark Funding also migrated to DXTrade, and MyFlash Funding migrated to the new MT5 accounts with the exclusive FinenseFX broker that they would later share with Blue Guardian and Aquafunded. The 28th was a busy day for migration, with MyFundedFX starting the migration process, Swift Funding finishing migration to DXTrade under the MyFundedFX license, as well as Funded Trading Plus and SmartProp Trader also completing migration to DXTrade. Blue Guardian finished migration to the FinenseFX MT5 broker for non-US clients. Lark Funding provided all accounts with double leverage and no stop loss add-ons as a compensation for the disruption, and welcomed back US traders too. Glownode migrated over to MatchTrader, and TFT had an issue with DXTrade account details. They also cancelled the March trading competitions due to the DXTrade transition. TFT traders had a lot of issues with connecting to Voyage Markets DXTrade, which management acknowledged. True Forex Funds also fixed synchronization issues. As you've seen, the move to different trading platforms was far from smooth across the whole industry, and the issues were not over yet. But some firms were still sticking with the old platforms, with CTI issuing a statement that they had no plans to change their MT5 platform or add any other platforms. It wasn't all broker changes though. Maven Trading added AstroPay as an option for African countries, India and South America. Finitive Funding also launched their new dashboard, which looks very good. Skilled funded traders updated their withdrawal process, allowing traders to resume trading immediately after requesting a payout, with progress tracking and streamlined eligibility tracking. Funding Pips welcomed back US traders, with existing customers being migrated to the MatchTrade platform that other users were already on. MyFundedFX announced that they had paid out over $3 million in February, showing that the payout still kept going out even through all the disruption. Aquafunded joined MyFlash Funding and Blue Guardian in offering the FinenseFX MT5 broker. Angelo, the owner of the Funded Trader, gave a lengthy statement on the issues with the firm. He explained an outage Voyage Markets had on DXTrade, and that traders breached by the issue would have their accounts reactivated with 1% added to the balance. He explained that platform transfer requests from DXTrade to C-Trader will be done by the next week. On the same day, the Aquafunded migration to FinenseFX MT5 was successfully completed. Angelo explained that the TFT migration to Blueberry Markets was cancelled, as they could not get assurances that the platform would be available for the long term, which was the correct decision, because a day later, Blueberry Markets announced that it would be shutting down operations for all prop firms. Trader T explained that Funded Engineer would move from Blueberry to their own in-house broker, which was inconvenient because they had just finished sending out 95% of the Blueberry accounts. True Forex Funds carried out further synchronization fixes, and while Direct Crypto and ADV cash withdrawals were still suspended, they offered Rise as an intermediary for crypto and bank transfer withdrawals. True Forex Funds CEO said the team were redoubling their efforts to re-enter the US market. Goat Funded Trader finished migration to MatchTrader, and Bespoke migrated to ThinkTrader with direct trading on TradingView available in 2 weeks. Skilled Funded Traders 8cap and Think Markets accounts were migrated to DXTrade, Payouts kept going out, with FTMO celebrating hitting $200 million in payouts. The funded trader hit a huge milestone of $150 million too, $6.9 million of which was paid out in February. But it wasn't all celebrating for the funded trader, as they announced compensation for traders affected by the DX trade issues. For challenge accounts affected, all accounts received a deposit of 50% of the current phase's target. Funded accounts received less generous compensation, with a discount code and free Dragon challenges depending on the funding size. Breached accounts between certain time intervals were unbreached, as discussed on the 2nd. TFT also allowed all traders to request a change of platform to avoid further DX trade issues. Aquafunded removed commissions from all assets. Maven Trading significantly reduced their prices, and MyFunded Effect introduced C-Trader via Purple Trading. Funding Pips followed suit and also introduced C-Trader. TFF introduced 5k accounts and made the swap-free option available for all US dollar accounts. And Swift Funding released an incredible 80% off offer on their 5k DX trade accounts. This offer is valid until the 31st March 2024. If you want to take advantage of it, the link is in the description. Riz, an owner of skilled funded traders, acknowledged that support during the DX trade issues had been subpar and recommended halting trading due to the voyage markets issues. Funded Engineer and Maven announced that Blueberry Markets had set all trading accounts to close only. Funded Engineer said accounts will be migrated to their in-house broker, and Maven promised to move customers to Match Trader. Some of the TFT compensation didn't go to plan, and accounts were breached due to overcompensation. Angelo promised that those affected would receive new accounts shortly. Bespoke decided to re-allow US traders with the ThinkTrader online trading platform. On the 8th, Swift Funding brought C-Trader, and MyFunded Effect's migration of Blueberry to C-Trader and Blueberry to DX were completed. Given the issues with Voyage Markets DX trade, skilled funded traders allowed non-US residents to request platform change to C-Trader. The Voyage Markets issues had further impacts, with TFT restricting new purchases for DX trade to US only, as well as promising a second round of compensation. Angelo also addressed the reports on social media about payout denials, saying TFT had a large cleanup road ahead of them after industry turbulence. Funded Engineer assured that their second round of migration was almost complete. On the 11th, MyFlash Funding, Bespoke Funding, and MyFunded Effects all introduced Match Trader, and Funded Next introduced AstroPay as a payment method for purchasing challenges. Swift also allowed traders to request to move from DX to C-Trader. On the 12th, the funded trader reduced their minimum stop loss rule from 5 pips to 1. Swift Funding announced that DX Trade didn't meet the standards at Swift, so all DX Trade clients outside the US that hadn't already requested to transfer to C-Trader would be moved to Match Trader. MyFunded Effects made a similar decision of temporarily suspending new DX Trade purchases. Riz announced a miscommunication about compensation for the firm between leadership and their partners Eastern Tech, run by Angelo, the owner of TFT. Some Blue Guardian accounts experienced false daily drawdown breaches, which the team got to work fixing. The day after, SFT also reduced the minimum stop loss rule like TFT, and announced the same compensation for challenge accounts affected by DX trade issues. Blue Guardian added C-Trader. Also on this day, allegations about Mattel, the CEO of MyFunded Effects, trying to coordinate with an EA seller to purposely make traders fail challenges arise. Unsurprisingly, there was very large backlash to this news, and although it was during the very start of the firm, it is still not a good look. Then finally, on the 14th, Funded Next introduced the ability to trade on TradingView as a beta for free trial users. As you've seen, the past month and a half has been a pivotal moment in the prop firm industry. While firms have tried their best to adapt to these new changes, the process has been far from smooth. As a result, customer dissatisfaction and negative reviews have skyrocketed in the past few weeks. To give credit where it's due, True Forex Funds, Funded Engineer, and Funding Pips deserve praise for getting back up and running, and their return is a huge positive for the industry that was in a precarious position when all three firms were down at the same time. And the positive result of the investigation of True Forex Funds by regulators is definitely an important event to keep in mind. My Forex Funds is still fighting its legal battle, and general consensus is this will take a lot more time for any verdict to be released. But the result of my forex funds is very important for the industry, because if they lose to regulators, it puts many firms into the regulatory firing range, especially US-based firms. The demographic that has suffered the worst through all these changes are US traders, whose future in the online forex prop firm space is very unstable. Despite the huge revenue opportunity, most firms see it too risky to continue serving US customers from a regulatory standpoint. As a result, many US traders have started moving to futures prop firms, so I'll make sure to cover some of them in the future. And there's inevitably lots more changes coming to the forex prop firm market, so make sure you subscribe so you see my later videos covering them. Thanks for watching. If you appreciated the video, please leave a like and comment your opinion on all the news that's happened recently. I'm interested to read what everyone else thinks. Make sure to do your research, diversify your prop firm accounts, and good luck with your trading.